Amara and Suri first met when they were only 7 years old. Amara had chased her small rubber ball too far across the street, slipped, and fallen straight into a muddy puddle. As she sat there embarrassed and close to tears, a barefoot girl carrying a bag of guavas walked up to her. Suri extended her hand and said with a mischievous smile, "Your leg is bleeding, but thank goodness you didn't fall on your face. That's the best part of you." Amara burst into laughter, and Suri joined her. From that moment, their bond became unbreakable. They went to the same primary school, shared snacks, copied notes for each other, and slept in the same bed many nights without their parents knowing. In their neighborhood, people called them the twin stars, one light-skinned, one dark, one quiet, one loud, but always together. Under the mango tree behind their houses, they made promises about the future, their dream jobs, dream weddings, dream houses. Amara once wrote in their shared notebook, "No matter what, we rise together." For years, it felt true. Even when they got into the same university, they remained inseparable. But unknown to them, a small seed of jealousy had already begun to grow in the shadows. University life was exciting at first. Amara and Suri studied in different departments, but they still ate lunch together, walked to class side by side, and whispered during long, boring lectures. At night, they stayed up solving assignments, talking about life, and laughing until their stomachs hurt. But slowly, something began to shift. Amara didn't try to stand out, yet people noticed her. She had a natural elegance, soft, graceful, effortlessly charming. Even in simple jeans and slippers, heads turned when she walked. Lecturers greeted her warmly. Boys stuttered when they talked to her. Girls admired and envied her beauty. Suri noticed it all. She never complained, never showed discomfort, but something tightened quietly inside her chest. It wasn't hatred, not yet. Just a small, bitter question, why not me? She saw how people always picked Amara first for group projects, how boys brought her snacks, how seniors offered to tutor her. Meanwhile, Suri had to fight for attention, academically, socially, emotionally. Still, their friendship continued. They laughed, studied, and supported each other. But inside Suri, that tiny seed of envy began to sprout, slowly and silently. She didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of a dangerous path, one that had no easy return. After graduation, Amara and Suri moved back to the city and rented a small apartment together. 2 bedrooms, 1 tiny kitchen, a shared wardrobe, just like old times. They both worked small jobs while applying for better opportunities. They cooked together, joked around, and talked about building their futures side by side. But something in Suri had changed. She watched more than she laughed. She noticed how men visited their compound and always asked for Amara. She noticed the gifts, handbags, perfumes, groceries, that strangers brought for her friend. She noticed how Amara casually turned down suitors that Suri would have been grateful to have. "He's not my type," Amara would say politely. Suri would smile back, but inside, something burned. One evening, while Amara went out for dinner with a man who adored her, Suri sat alone on the couch. The TV played a romantic movie, but her eyes were glued to an old photo of them at the beach, both glowing, both smiling. But now, Amara glowed brighter. That night, a sharp, poisonous thought whispered inside Suri for the first time, "If she wasn't here, maybe it would be my turn." She quickly shook her head as if to push the thought away. But jealousy doesn't leave. It only hides, waiting. It happened fast, so fast that Suri barely had time to adjust. One week, Amara was her usual gentle, humble self. The next, she was seeing a man who seemed too perfect to be real. His name was Kelechi, a calm entrepreneur who drove a white Lexus and smelled of quiet wealth. He met Amara at a seminar and became instantly drawn to her soft nature. Within 2 weeks, he bought her a new phone, brought groceries every weekend, and never visited without fresh flowers. Suri pretended to like him. "He's nice, I guess," she said casually when Amara asked. "He's more than nice," Amara replied, blushing. That blush. That innocent, glowing blush irritated Suri more than she wanted to admit. Suri watched everything. At work, the boss favored Amara. At church, people complimented her. In their neighborhood, strangers admired her. Meanwhile, Suri worked twice as hard for half the recognition. Her phone stayed silent. Her nights were empty. Then came the breaking point. One Thursday, Amara entered their flat smiling. "Kelechi wants to meet my parents." Suri froze mid-sip. "Oh, wow. That's serious." Amara nodded shyly. "I think he might be the one." Suri hugged her, smiling on the surface. But inside, something cracked open, and the bitterness finally found air. That night, while Amara slept peacefully in the next room, Suri sat alone on the balcony, staring into the dark sky. Her mind raced. Her heart throbbed with a heavy mixture of anger, envy, and desperation. She thought about her life, how she always stood in Amara's shadow, how people looked past her like she didn't exist. Her phone glowed in her hand. She scrolled through her contacts, past old classmates, church groups, co-workers, until she stopped at a name she hadn't touched in years, Mama Ifunanya, Herbal and Spiritual Solutions. Suri hesitated. Her finger shook. Then she typed, "Mama, good evening. Do you still help people with personal issues?" Minutes later, a reply, "Yes, but be sure. Some paths have no U-turns." Suri stared at the message for a long time. Then she wrote, "I am ready." The next afternoon, she traveled to the outskirts where Mama Ifunanya lived. The air around the compound smelled of burnt herbs and something rotting beneath fresh leaves. The old woman opened the door with tired, knowing eyes. "So, you came," she said. Suri's voice trembled. "I need someone to stop shining, to slow down. I just want my own chance." The woman nodded slowly, disappearing inside. When she returned, she held a silver pin wrapped in black cloth, soaked in dark oil. "Place this in something she will touch. It will dim her beauty, not kill her. But the world will turn away." Suri took it. Her hand shook. But she did not turn back. That evening, Amara returned from the salon glowing as always, her hair freshly braided and her smile soft. She placed her purse on the bed and said, "Suri, can I borrow one of your small bags for tomorrow? Kelechi wants me to meet one of his cousins." Suri turned slowly, forcing a smile. "Sure. The brown one is in the top drawer." Amara didn't notice the tremble in her voice. She simply hummed happily, picked up the bag, and left the room. Suri remained frozen. Earlier that afternoon, she had carefully slipped the silver pin, wrapped in its dark, oily cloth, into the bag's side pocket beneath an old hair tie. It was hidden perfectly. It was ready. But a small voice inside her whispered, "This is wrong. She's your sister." Suri swallowed hard, ignoring it. The next morning, Amara wore a soft pink dress and light makeup. She looked beautiful, peaceful, full of hope. "Thanks for the bag," she said cheerfully. "You're welcome," Suri replied with a tight smile. As Amara stepped out the door, Suri whispered under her breath, "Let's see how perfect you are tomorrow." That day at lunch, inside a fancy restaurant, Amara reached into the borrowed bag for her lip gloss. She felt a sharp prick on her finger, quick, almost harmless. She didn't know that tiny sting was the beginning of her nightmare. At first, Amara thought nothing of the tiny prick. She wiped her finger, smiled at Kelechi, and continued her day. But by evening, her fingertip felt unusually warm. By bedtime, the entire finger had turned red and tender. When she woke up the next morning, she screamed. Her hand was swollen, thick, heavy, and painfully hot. The skin looked bruised, as if something dark was spreading underneath. Suri rushed into her room, acting shocked. "What happened, Amara?" "I don't know," Amara cried. "It's burning, it hurts so much." They rushed to the hospital. Doctors examined her hand, confused and concerned. "There's no infection, no wound, no allergic reaction," one doctor said. "But her hand is reacting to something we can't detect." Amara winced as another wave of pain shot through her arm. "I can't move my fingers," she whispered. "We'll give you anti-inflammatory medication," the doctor said. "It should help." Suri sat beside her with wide, innocent eyes, pretending to be supportive, while inside, a twisted satisfaction spread quietly. Her plan was working. Amara's once elegant, admired hands people always complimented, were now swollen and turning dark like bruised charcoal. The beauty she never flaunted was fading. And Suri watched every moment of it. Amara couldn't sleep for days. The pain grew worse, the swelling spread, and the skin on her knuckles began to peel in thin, frightening layers. Her hand looked burned, diseased, yet the doctors found no cause. She avoided mirrors, avoided people, and avoided Kalechi's calls. When he finally came unannounced and saw her hand, he tried to stay calm. "Amara, we'll find better doctors. Don't worry." But she saw the discomfort in his eyes, the hesitation in his touch. That hurt more than the pain. At home, Suri played the perfect friend. She cooked for her, prayed for her, and sat by her bedside, yet her eyes always watched carefully, calculating. One night, while Suri brought her a bowl of soup, she whispered softly, "Maybe this is spiritual, maybe someone close doesn't want you happy." Amara froze. "Spiritual?" she asked quietly. "Some people envy good things," Suri murmured. "Especially those near us." The words lingered like poison in the air. Amara felt a strange chill settle inside her. That night, she had a dream. She was reaching into Suri's brown bag, pulling her hand out covered in blood, and someone behind her laughed. She woke up breathless, terrified. For the first time since childhood, she felt fear in Suri's presence. The next few days were torture. Amara stayed indoors, avoiding everyone. Her hand grew worse, turning a frightening shade of gray, the skin peeling in heavier flakes. Even her wrist began to darken, as if something crawling under her skin was spreading upward. Her mother visited and gasped. "Amara, are you sure you didn't offend someone?" The question struck her deeply. That night, after Suri went to bed, Amara couldn't ignore the growing suspicion inside her. A dream, a whisper, a strange warning, all pointed to one thing she didn't want to believe. She went to the kitchen silently and searched the trash bin for the brown bag she had borrowed. Her heart pounded as she found it and took it to the counter. She turned it inside out. Nothing. Then her fingers felt something sticky inside the inner lining of the side pocket. Hands trembling, she cut it open with a kitchen knife. A small black cloth slid out, damp, foul-smelling, soaked in something oily. Inside it lay a tiny pin. Her breath stopped. Her knees gave way. This was no accident. No sickness. No bad luck. Someone had done this to her. Someone close. Someone she trusted with her life. And the realization shattered her heart. Suri wanted her destroyed. But Amara said nothing. Not yet. Because something told her Suri wasn't finished. The next morning, Amara looked like a shadow of herself. She barely slept. Her mind replayed the truth again and again. Suri had done this. Her best friend, her sister. Yet she had no proof that anyone else would accept. No one would believe a story about a cursed pin hidden in a bag. She needed help. Later that afternoon, after yet another failed hospital visit where the doctor said, "Just be patient, it might be an allergy," Amara sat outside the hospital gate, exhausted and broken. Her hand throbbed. Her spirit felt crushed. Beside her, an old woman in a faded yellow wrapper quietly sat down. She stared ahead, speaking without looking at Amara. "They can't cure what they don't understand." Amara blinked. "Excuse me?" The woman pointed lightly at Amara's wrapped hand. "That thing didn't come from sickness. It came from someone close to you." Amara's heart stopped. How do you know?" The woman reached into her wrapper and handed her a torn piece of paper with an address scribbled on it. "Go here before sunset. Do not tell anyone. Especially not the one who shares your roof." Amara stared at the address, trembling. "Who are you?" she whispered. The woman stood slowly. "Someone who once trusted the wrong heart." And then, she disappeared into the crowd. Just before sunset, Amara arrived at the address the old woman had given her. The area was quiet, too quiet. No cars, no children playing, no noise. Only dry sand, still trees, and a chilling silence. The small cream-colored house looked abandoned. But something pulled her forward. Inside, the air smelled of burnt herbs and metal. A bald man sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by bowls filled with dark water and dried leaves. His eyes were pale, almost white, yet they followed Amara's every movement. "You're late," he said. Amara's voice shook. I didn't know what to expect." "No one ever does," he replied. "Show me your hand." She unwrapped it. He didn't flinch. Instead, he placed a single leaf on her palm. It shriveled instantly. "This is no illness," he murmured. "This came through an object, something you touched. Something given to you." "A bag?" Amara whispered. He nodded. "And it came from someone who wants your beauty forgotten. Someone close." Tears filled her eyes. She didn't say Suri's name, but the truth hung heavy between them. Elder Mwanza dipped his fingers in a thick herbal paste and rubbed it gently across her hand. Heat spread through her arm, then cold, then a strange emptiness. Amara's vision blurred. Then everything went dark. When Amara woke up, the room was dark. Her hand, once swollen, dark, and peeling, now looked normal. Smooth. Healthy. Almost unreal. She stared at it for a long time, unable to breathe. A woman entered quietly. "Elder Mwanza said you must leave before sunrise, and remember what you were told. Your light is restored, but the one who tried to destroy it is still watching." Amara returned home at dawn, slipping inside before Suri woke up. She locked her bedroom door and sat on the floor, staring at her healed hand. She had been saved, but she was no longer the same woman. She cooked her own food. She drank nothing she didn't pour herself. She watched Suri closely. When Suri finally noticed the healing, her eyes widened with shock. "Amara, your hand. It's healed?" "Yes," Amara answered calmly. "Just like that." Suri forced a smile, but fear tightened her throat. What had Amara done? Who helped her? Why was the curse gone? Days passed. Amara stayed quiet but alert. She locked her door at night. Suri felt the shift. Amara didn't trust her anymore. Worst of all, Kalechi returned. He held Amara's hand again. He smiled, relieved. They laughed together like before. That night, Suri sat alone in the dark. The curse had failed. And now, she needed something stronger. Something permanent. Suri couldn't sleep. She sat in her room with the lights off, the ceiling fan humming above her like a warning. The image of Amara's healed hand replayed in her mind again and again. The curse should have ruined her forever, yet she looked even brighter. Suri's jealousy turned into something darker. She picked up her phone and opened a contact saved only with a black heart emoji. No name. Just danger. Are you available this weekend? I need it done. Clean. Permanent. The reply came within minutes. Where and when? 2 days later, Amara received a WhatsApp message from an unknown number. Hey love, I want to surprise you. You've suffered a lot. Please meet me behind the old community hall at 6 p.m., Kalechi. Amara read it slowly. She didn't reply. She didn't panic either. Her heart felt steady, too steady. She arrived at the abandoned hall early. The place was silent, covered in weeds. At exactly 6:07 p.m., 2 men approached, one tall, one shorter with a limp. They stopped when they recognized her. The shorter man swallowed hard. You helped my wife at the hospital. You paid our bill. Do you remember? Amara nodded. We can't do this, the tall one said. Your friend didn't give us a name. She just paid for someone to be handled quickly. Who? Amara asked quietly. The shorter man hesitated. Your friend. Sorry. They walked away, leaving Amara alone, but unbroken. She knew what she had to do next. Suri couldn't sleep. She sat in her room with the lights off, the ceiling fan humming above her like a warning. The image of Amara's healed hand replayed in her mind again and again. The curse should have ruined her forever, yet she looked even brighter. Suri's jealousy turned into something darker. She picked up her phone and opened a contact saved only with a black heart emoji. No name. Just danger. Are you available this weekend? I need it done. Clean. Permanent. The reply came within minutes. Where and when? 2 days later, Amara received a WhatsApp message from an unknown number. Hey love, I want to surprise you. You've suffered a lot. Please meet me behind the old community hall at 6 p.m., Kalechi. Amara read it slowly. She didn't reply. She didn't panic either. Her heart felt steady, too steady. She arrived at the abandoned hall early. The place was silent, covered in weeds. At exactly 6:07 p.m., 2 men approached, one tall, one shorter with a limp. They stopped when they recognized her. The shorter man swallowed hard. You helped my wife at the hospital. You paid our bill. Do you remember? Amara nodded. We can't do this, the tall one said. Your friend didn't give us a name. She just paid for someone to be handled quickly. Who? Amara asked quietly. The shorter man hesitated. Your friend. Sorry. They walked away, leaving Amara alone, but unbroken. She knew what she had to do next. Amara walked home slowly, her step steady, her heart calm. She didn't cry. She didn't shake. She was done being afraid. When she entered the flat, the clock showed 7 p.m. Suri was sitting on the sofa pretending to scroll her phone. A plate of jollof rice and a glass of wine sat waiting. She looked up with fake surprise. Oh, you're back. Did you like the surprise? Amara shut the door behind her. You mean the 2 men you sent to kill me? The phone slipped from Suri's hand. What are you talking about? She whispered. The men you paid, Amara said. The ones who refused because they recognized me. Suri's face cracked, her smile collapsing into rage and tears. Why do you always win? She shouted. Why does everything fall into your lap? Every man wants you, every job favors you. You healed from a curse I paid for. You outgrew me. So you tried to kill me? Amara whispered. Suri laughed bitterly. Not kill. Just remove you, so I could finally be seen. Before Amara could reply, the door burst open. 2 police officers entered with the 2 hired men behind them. Suri Okoro, you are under arrest for conspiracy and attempted murder. They cuffed her. Suri didn't fight, she just stared at Amara with grief, hatred, and regret. You stole the life that should have been mine, she said as they dragged her away. 1 year later Amara stood on the balcony of her new home, married to Kelechi, glowing with pregnancy. Peace lived inside her now. Suri, after 3 years in prison, was found lifeless in her cell. Amara didn't cry. She whispered softly, you were supposed to be my sister.